Chess is a game that some of us play. The word bishop is a concept that we overlay onto some matter, usually a tall, slender piece, not the tallest, but tall, slender piece on the chessboard. There's two of them that can move diagonally, but there is no bishop in the matter. The truth of whatever it is that we're calling a bishop is realized not in the matter, but in the human conceptualization about what chess is, what the rules are, how pieces can move, yada yada. But it isn't actually getting at reality. Reality of whatever's going on there defies those human concepts. The word toothpick included, even though it is referring directly to the matter instead of a word like bishop, the referent of the word bishop doesn't directly tie to matter, where I'm holding a toothpick right here and I call it a toothpick. The pointer of toothpick is to this. It's still the same game. We're still doing the same thing in both cases. When I say this and point to it, I've already done the thing. I've already called it it. I've already separated it out as something separate and distinct and different from the rest of the universe, from such and so and so. I've already abstracted away the reality. If we're only concerning ourselves with abstracts, we're not concerning ourselves with concepts are real, but they're not that real. And so it's important to loosen our grips on these concepts a bit and recognize the distinction between what's conceptual and what's real. I like to use the terms map and territory. When I use the word toothpick to refer to this, I am using a map to refer to some territory. The map being toothpick, the territory being, and these are two separate things. And also notice, again, I've already done it. I'm calling this territory. I am taking a concept, territory, abstracting away the reality, and synonymizing this with territory. And this is the issue. This is utterly the issue right here. I am taking the concept of territory too seriously if I'm not recognizing that this is not territory. The confusion is right back, right? If you are addicted to abstract ideas, it is going to be very difficult to understand what is not an abstract idea. Symbols. Everything is a symbol. Everything is conceptual. Thing is conceptual. Everything. No thing is conceptual. Nothing is conceptual. Everything is conceptual. These are statements that should mean the same thing if you know what I'm talking about. The same thing. All right. The fuck am I doing saying, man? We're on a rock hurtling through space with around a star, and how the hell are we supposed to make sense of all this? No, we do it through conceptualization. We conceptualize about it. We talk about stars, gravity, and space, and moving and stuff. We conceptualize about stuff that doesn't relate to our universe. We talk about abstractions, chess, bishops moving diagonally. Like, what the hell does that mean? Some concepts point to literal stuff. Some concepts point to other concepts. Don't point to anything at all. The thing about concepts that point to other concepts is we can just decide whatever the hell we want that concept to point to. Well, we can even do that with territory, concepts that point to territory. Toothpick points to this territory. I could just say, no, toothpick refers to toothpick, there's a smudge in there, refers to bull. When I say toothpick, I mean this. So what did I just do there? I just point out an obvious fact that the labels that we use can be changed. Labels are associated with the concept. If the label changes, the concept changes, no matter how minuscule it might be. If we swap them directly, if I start calling this bowl, when I say the word bowl, something resembling this will start to come to mind. Okay, what am I saying? I think this is just general semantics. I'm getting lost in my own thoughts here. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm saying anymore. The concept that we use to make sense of the world is malleable. Whatever concepts that arise in the brain for whatever reason are not synonymous with the reality that those concepts supposedly point to. We can adjust and change these things. Why is this important? because when I call this a toothpick, I mean, given a whole host of assumptions, this is a toothpick, not this is a toothpick. This is whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But if we join together, play a fun conceptual game, we can agree that it's a toothpick. And that's useful because now I can ask you to pass me the toothpick. Do you have a toothpick? I have something in my teeth. Do I have something in my teeth? It is useful as defined by the needs of this organism. We could conceptualize about an alien civilization that develops on a different planet under very different circumstances, who conceptualize about things in very different ways, to the extent that, like, if I held up an object like this, they might not call it toothpick, they might call it food in whatever alien language they use, by whatever alien means. This might be what their food is, literally, like the wooden fibers, yada yada. However, their digestive tracts work, they conceptualize about this entirely differently. So, that is the main point. The world was here long before this thing was. The matter that comprises this thing was here long before this thing became what it is. And now this thing comes along here and it's demanding that the world, the universe, is what it says it is. No, it's not how it works. It's just a useful game, a useful tool. It is not synonymous with reality. That's the point of all this. Our concepts are not synonymous with reality.